everyone, this is Josh vs. Wrenches, buying another car that I probably shouldn't have. And this right here is it in all of its glory. This right here is a 1987, 88-ish Fiero GT, and I do have the hood and the bumper, which are off the car, but they were loose, and when I was transporting it, I didn't want them to fly off, so we just took them off. Now, I'm sure you guys are asking, why the hell do I need something else? I've got a whole driveway full of stuff. Apparently, he's running himself over. You could have started it up. That's fine. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are saying, why the hell do I need something else? I have truck, I have other truck, I have many things in my backyard. I have a Crown Vic in there, I have a Firebird, I have another Fiero, and that's actually why I bought this thing. As you guys know, well, longtime viewers of the channel know, I have a 1984 Fiero, just a base model. It's not a GT. Somebody a long time ago converted the thing to be an electric car, and, well, I needed some parts for it. Primarily interior parts, because that thing is basically all roached on the inside. And, well, as you do, I was looking on Facebook Marketplace, and I made an offer that I knew the guy would say no to, and for some reason, he didn't say no. Now, before I show you this whole car, I picked this whole thing up for 300 bucks. So, I mean, I really couldn't say no to it for that. And, well, we'll just start at the back, because this thing is a little bit more interesting than I originally thought it to be. The taillights themselves, even though the housings are off of it right now, they did come with it. They are shattered. They're not in great shape, but they are here. I don't know if I can put a different lens over them or anything like that, but I do have them. You see right there, it says Pontiac and all that crap. Along with the grills, they are in the car. They're chilling right there. This thing is a true Fiero GT, so it does have the glorious V6 back here. I have no idea what size it is. I'm going to flash it up on the screen right now. I don't know anything about these motors, but there are a few things on this one in particular that tells me this thing used to be somebody's old hot rod. Number one was it looks like it's had some work done to it. The guy said he changed all the fluids when he originally got it, you know, coolant, oil, all that stuff. It has a Holley throttle body along with a computer hookup back here. So this tells me this might have been something kind of neat back in its day. Now the jury's out if this motor is any good. The guy said that he kind of got it close to getting ready to run, you know, getting everything, like I said, all the fluids changed, spark plugs, all that crap. Then he never got around to it. Apparently the guy's dad's really liked Fieros and he was going to give this thing to him, but didn't have the time to fix it up right. And, well, without a title, it wasn't really that good of a gift anyways. So I have a little bit of mystery meat on the back. It looks like some cool parts were thrown into it, but, I mean, I don't know if any of this stuff is still going to be any good. So we got our work cut out for it there. Now, there are a few things missing here and there, like the trunk release, so you have to put a tire on the back here to hold this trunk down. But the spoiler itself, the fiberglass deck lid, the side of it is in pretty good shape, even though this thing has been in a few fender benders. Yeah, maybe more than a few. These things, just like the old MR2s, since they have a rear motor, they're kind of snap happy. They drive, they grip, and then they just let go and snap oversteer, and they will throw your butt into a tree fairly easily. And that's what this thing probably had happen to it. You can see right here, it's been painted a couple times. It's had fiberglass repair done here. It's had it done up front. This thing has been in a fair few fender benders. But along with the engine upgrades, it actually has some pretty big meat on the back of it. See right here, it has Nitto Continentals? Nope, the Continentals are on the front. It has Nitto NTSSS on the back. It has some cool forged, I think these are aluminum wheels, I believe. It has a cap there. I'm gonna have to look into it and see what these things are about. The two on this side are powder coated in this black. The other ones aren't, so I'm sure I can be able to look at that cap and see what rims these are. But they are not the original ones, and they have some grippy tires on them. So I'm sure this thing saw a track or two in its life. Now, with it being the GT car, it does have disc brakes on the back, which is a good upgrade. I wanted that for my car anyways. That electric Fiero doesn't have any brakes at all in the rear, so I wanted something back here, and, well, that's where this thing's going to come into play. Moving up a little bit, the glass for both of the winglets, or whatever the hell you want to call those things, are gone, sadly. But the sunroof is bigger than the one in my car, and it's in good shape, so that's a pretty good win. Now, moving on to the interior, sadly, it looks like it got the meth head special here. It looks like somebody was huffing the paint and spraying it at the same time. So that's not a very good thing, but I mean, it is there. It's not gonna look the prettiest, but it is all there, and it looks like it should all function. So at the end of the day, I can just, you know, run it like this and just find some good door cards in the junkyard or something later on down the line. And that's where the methed, but not very badly methed, things end. When you come to the interior here, it's kind of jerry-rigged, that's for sure. As you guys can see in here, I don't think these are the original seats. I'm gonna have to pull these things out. I haven't really dug through this interior much to see what's all in here and what isn't, but it has some different seats in it. They look in pretty good shape, so that's kind of neat. Apparently the key for this thing was lost a long time ago. Looks like it has half the steering column unplugged. I guess they were gonna do a steering column swap to try to get around the fact they didn't have a key. even though all they really had to do was jump a few wires underneath in these plugs. So that's kind of cool. On the bright side, that red car back there, it has a good steering column, so I'm sure I can switch these around, and I'll touch on that a little bit later. This thing is, as you guys can tell with the 3 pedals down there and the little wiggly stick right here, it is a stick shift car, which is pretty neat. It is an AC car as well, and it does have all the climate controls and everything like that still there, even if the radio is gone. Another good thing that's in this part bin here is the wheel. The wheel is actually in pretty darn good shape. The e-brake handle, like they all are, is right here down beneath your left side as the driver. It's kind of weird. It is there. The leather's not tore up, so that's in pretty good shape. And then the rest of the interior isn't too bad. It doesn't stink. It doesn't smell like mold. The headliner's not really falling apart, even though it does have some weird questionable stains in it. It's not in that bad a shape. Then it only has 61,000 miles on the clock. So this thing didn't really have its whole time to shine. It has a good oil pressure gauge, a good volt gauge, temperature gauge, fuel gauge, tach, and then speedometer on it. And if you guys have a Firebird or something like that, these switches are going to look almost identical. They're just basically switched. Normally on a Firebird, the headlight switch is down here, and then this little roller is right up top, and they just switched them. They're literally the exact same part number. This car is actually a fairly nicely optioned car. Like I said, it does have AC. It has power locks, power windows. It's the manual. So back when this thing actually rolled off the assembly line with the sunroof and everything, this was an actually pretty nice car. Oh, let me shut this door here. And the plus side of that car, oh, I left it inside. The plus side of this thing is inside of it, I actually found a snap-on flashlight that's like 150 bucks new. So I got like half the price of the car just in a tool alone. All right, then moving up front, as you guys can tell, as you guys can tell, apparently I'm stepping on some wood. But as you guys can tell, I have the hood off of it. It's rained a little bit. It does have actually a waterproof bucket here, so that's kind of neat. One of the headlight buckets I thought was originally missing, but it is inside the car with all the other parts, so I'm not missing that. And it's sort of the same story up front. Like I said, it looks like this thing has been in a few fender benders up here. So the plan is whenever I get this thing sort of ready to run and everything, I'm probably going to put, you know, some string and stuff like that on it and check to see if this thing is actually straight when it comes to the frame. I'm hoping it is. It doesn't look like it's been adjusted too bad. I don't see any obvious, you know, kinks or anything like that in the frame rails, but it might be tweaked just a hair that we have to kind of gently massage with a tree. Then here we go on the front side of it. You guys can see this side over here, the passenger side, has not been plasti dipped. It's not been powdered or whatever the hell I said it was. They are just normal rims, and they have the Continentals up front. So somebody did spend some good money on tires on this thing, some engine upgrades and things like that. I'm kind of curious to look and see if I can find any history of this car and see, you know, see if I can find the old owner. That'd be kind of neat to know who built it, who worked on it, what happened to it, why is it in this state? Is it stolen? I mean, I don't know. I got a bill of sale, and the guy even showed me his ID and his address and everything. So I don't think it's stolen, but you never know. And right here, it does have a aftermarket wiring to the fan. So that's another car guy thing, is being able to run your fans manually and not just have them kick on automatically. For anybody that cares about this, here's the RPO code list. I'm probably going to go and decode that just to see what this thing was optioned with. On old Pontiacs and Chevys and things like that, they have this. Basically, all of these codes are certain things. Like one of these will be your axle code, one of them will be your engine code, and it'll tell you exactly what it was optioned with. Like L44 could mean it had a blue interior. LNP5 could mean it had AC, you know, stuff like that. Their make, parts getting, and parts ordering and everything like that, super easy. I wish Fords came with these. All right, here's the hood for it. The headlight bezels on these things are actually in the hood, so that's kind of neat. I didn't realize that before. They're spring loaded, and just whenever that mechanism pushes on it, they just come out. As you guys can tell, like I said, it's been beat and banged around a couple times, so I'm gonna have to do some fiberglass repair here and there. But it's not unsavable. It just does need a little bit of love. And same thing with the front bumper. It's a little bit bad, but nothing, you know, unsavable. This stuff isn't fiberglass. It's plastic. It's flexi, so I'm sure I can save it with a little bit of love. All right, and now the ever important question: why the hell, with everything that I showed you guys, with everything that's wrong with it, everything that's beat up on it, everything that's not perfect, why the hell did I buy it? Well, honestly, it's because parts are not as cheap as they used to be on these cars. Everything from the 80s and 90s has recently started to shoot up in value. You got to think about it. How these trends normally work is everybody wants the cars that were cool whenever they were a kid. Whenever, you know, they saw the ads for them on the TV and the sales brochures and everything like that. They wanted the things that spoke to them whenever they were a teenager and couldn't afford all the new crap. And 10, 15 years ago, that was the 60s and 70s cars. You know, the Challengers, the Mustangs, the GTXs, all those things absolutely shot up in value 10, 15 years ago, and they're slowly starting to decline because not as many people are into them because of the reason I told you. Now everybody is 10, 15 years older, they're in their late 20s, early 30s, and they want the cars that were cool when they were kids. Hence, all the 80s and 90s stuff going up in value. I know when I had my old Firebird as a kid, I used to trip over those things in junkyards. It was so easy to find parts for, along with my 1992 Ford Bronco that I had. Literally every single corner you turn, there was 90s F-150s, Broncos, everything like that. There were 80s Firebirds, there were Fieros. I found so many of these things in junkyards growing up, and that's just not what happens anymore. All the ones that have been sitting in junkyards because they finally went off the road with 150 to 180,000 miles on them have now been cubed, so parts are getting hard to find for these things. And therefore, all of the prices have went up. So it made more sense from an economical standpoint to buy a cheap parts car and combine it with my good titled 1984 Fiero and make one good car out of two junkers. So down the line, I plan to combine these two cars and make one good car out of two of them. Now, what is that going to entail? Number one, like I said, I am going to do some digging on that old white one. This car behind me, the one I bought and traded an old motorcycle for, does have a clean and clear title. And these things, I won't lie, I didn't say this. The VIN plate is literally tacked onto the dashboard. It is super easy if I really wanted to swap it. But I'm gonna be real here. If one of my cars that I loved and poured all the time into, that somebody very clearly did with that old Fiero, got stolen, I would want to at least know what happened to it, and I want it returned to me. So I'm gonna do my best to find who is the last previous registered owner of that car and see if I can find a title for it. Or in the very least, if it was stolen 10, 15 years ago, I can try my best to reunite them with it. Now, if that doesn't pan through and it's, a certificate of destruction, or it's not stolen, the guy just doesn't want it back or anything like that, probably what's gonna happen is all of the good parts are gonna be swapped onto this car. Like I said, that thing is a GT car, so it has bigger, beefier front end components, it has bigger brakes, it has a stronger transmission, it has a better interior. All that stuff can be swapped onto this clean titled shell. And I think by the end of it, for fairly cheap, I can have a pretty darn good old Fiero. Now, motor-wise, I don't know what I'm going to go for. As you guys know, this thing is electric swap. It's 5-speed. That's the whole reason I bought it, was because it's kind of cool and unique. But that little V6 in that car is showing some signs of being kind of a little hopped up V6. So the plan so far is, at least I'm going to tear into that car whenever I learn if it's a good clean title car or not. I don't want to dig into it and spend a bunch of time getting it fixed up and running and driving and then realize that I did all that work for somebody else. Don't get me wrong, I'll get him his car back, but I don't want to do free labor. Once I learn if I can get a title for it or not, I will probably try to get that little V6 going. If I fail at it or learn that it has a blown piston or something like that, I'll just immediately clean out this electric motor and swap it into it. If I can get a title for that car and the motor turns out to be good, I might just run that little V6 for the time being. Rebuild this motor, get some schematics for it, figure out exactly how I want to do it, with AC and vacuum pumps and everything like that, to make this car be an actual good and reliable daily. My thought behind all of this is Priuses are, hybrids, and they can run fully on electric, and they also have AC and power steering pumps and everything like that that are fully electric. So that's the plan for this car, at least. Still give me power steering, AC, all of the fancy convenient stuff while still being an electric car. Don't get me wrong, it does kind of pain me to rip apart a little V6 GT like that, but gas is expensive, and if I can have a little electric car that'll save me a few bucks on gas here and there with how expensive it's getting, and still be a fun little car to rip around and have fun with, I won't turn that down. And on the bright side of all that, with a little electric car, the only real noise that's going to be coming out of it is the tires squealing. So I can go down a lot of roads very quickly, and nobody's going to hear me, with a big old Cam 350 and going to be like, oh my God, cops come, there's somebody ripping around here. It's going to be dead quiet, so I can have a lot of fun before anybody even notices I'm there. So that's the plan. I know in this video we're not going to be digging into that car. I really don't want to pull out my multimeter and start ohming things and figuring out what wire does what. I just don't want to do that right now. Like I've said in my last couple of videos, I've started a new job. I got a lot of things on my mind. I'm learning a bunch of crap. I just don't have the mental power for that right now. But I do need to make something for this week's video and show you guys the new project car I bought. So now that you guys know the plan, the verdict's out if I ever actually get around to it. You guys know how many project cars I got. But if I do, everything will be uploaded here on this channel. As you guys know, I do everything from cutting apart a Buick and spray painting it in a Walmart parking lot to building an actually pretty nice little Firebird. I do it all here on this channel, and it's always uploaded every week. If you guys do want to see that, or you know a lot about these Fieros, let me know stuff down in the comments below. I've never owned one of these cars. I don't know anything about them. All I know is they have pop-up headlights, so they're cool, and they share some parts with my Firebirds, so they're doubly cool. And they're from a manufacturer, Pontiac, which doesn't make anything anymore, so they're triply cool. If you guys had one of these things, or your neighbor did it, your mom did it, or your dad did, let me know down in the comments below. If you guys know must-have mods for these things like sway bars, things to help with the snap oversteer, anything like that, let me know all of it down in the comments below. If you've never had one of these cars or don't find it cool or anything, if you still want to help the channel, leave a comment anyway saying great video or something like that. Any interaction really does help here on this channel. While you guys are down there, if you like it, click the like button, dislike it if you dislike it, subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video. Normally I upload something every Friday if it's not a Buick video. If it's a Buick video, I normally paint it for a holiday and I upload that video on whatever day that holiday falls on. And well, without me rambling along anymore, this was Josh from Riska's Wrenches buying another project car I probably didn't need off Marketplace. I hope you guys are having a good day, night, week, whatever it is. I hope you guys are having a great one and hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out and goodbye. Want to be the guy that, you know, filmed random children without their consent. That'd probably put me on a watch list somewhere. Yeah, that rear end's not really on there anymore.
Mr. nicknames his private member Lazarus because he has risen from the dead.